fulfilling conferences I've been to. Like every conference has a theme, and like generally throughout the day, the theme either gets forgotten or kind of like brushed aside. And what I really liked about the entire day today was that was never forgotten. Every speaker that I listened to, everyone that I talked to, all really had passion for Taiwan, its culture, its people, and they really care about like what we're trying to do. And the thing that I found most important was to not only like make it known to people, but to make a difference, to actually be the change and see the change in our community. So that passion that I saw today with the different people I met is what I want to bring back to my campus. Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Becca and I'm from MWC also. Okay, this is my second ITASA actually, so yeah, it's been fun. For my reflection activity, I actually drew a picture. I don't know if you guys can see it, probably not, but I guess I drew like a portrait of me, and then I wrote the words complacency, stereotypes, racism, and self-doubt, and basically I have an explanation for that. Okay, so my experience at ITASA inspired me to depict what I learned utilizing my own passion, which is art. I think roots need foundations. They are the start to new ideas and beautiful things. However, the world may not always be a beautiful place. There are things that weigh down on us, question our humanity, and force us into difficult places. My picture depicts some of the issues that have affected me within the past year, and the tree represents how I've learned to deal with these issues, or how others can too. I have used my own roots to represent breaking into these things and creating something new. So basically, I wrote on the trees, like, for complacency, I wrote passion. For stereotypes, I wrote understanding. For racism, I wrote education. And for self-doubt, I wrote confidence.
Hi, hello guys, my name is Joe. I'm also from UIUC. So this is also my first ITASA experience. It was quite opening. I'd actually like to thank everyone that has put effort into this. I really had a great time. Thank you. Give a round of applause for the people that put it. So, as I said, I wasn't really exactly involved with the Asian American community until this year. And one of the struggles I had throughout the years since I came to the US in 5th grade is that I kind of always had the problem resenting my identity because of bullying issues throughout school, and I was grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. So I wasn't really have a home to go to when I was growing up, like someone I can identify with in terms of culture. And thankfully, UIUC is a very diverse campus, and there's a large population of Taiwanese Americans who people I can share life stories with, identify with, and maybe even lend a ear for them because they might have the same problem as me. So, like, the only problem, like I said, I resent my Asian identity, but throughout here, by coming here, I actually heard a lot of stories of people who actually went through similar struggles as me. And as a person that went through the same thing, I understand what they're going through, and I love to hear more about it because after all, we are what our experience and history made us. So thank you all. I really appreciate all the stories you told me. I've learned a lot and inspired a lot, and hope after I graduate, I continue to carry on what I learned here. Thank you.
My name is Connor, and I'm still a student. So, I was particularly inspired by the third workshop that I did, which was kind of how to make your own story, how to create your own roots. I'm not Asian. I'm just a white guy. I've been taking Chinese for a while, and I thought to myself, one of the questions that they asked at the workshop was, why are you here? What's the point? Why am I with all of these Taiwanese people? And I realized that it's because I want to get to know more people. I need to understand the culture behind the language. I need to understand who people are. And I wrote a little poem, honestly, that doesn't really compete with some of these other works. It's pretty simple. I am not of the same vein, I'm not of the same cell, but of the same vein. I'm not of the same leaf, but of the same branch. I'm not of the same tree, but of the same garden. My roots are not the same, but they intertwine with yours.
As the conference loomed, I found myself contemplating the path I had taken in terms of my involvement in the Taiwanese and Taiwanese American and Asian American community. The fact of the matter is, it wasn't necessary, per se. There was nothing to force me into this community. Let's face the facts. I'm not Taiwanese. I don't live there, and I never have. I don't have citizenship, and I've only visited as a tourist. And much of what I've learned about it has really been via my Western education. I have no more connection to Taiwan than perhaps a tourist. I'm not my parents. Nonetheless, there's a specter of Taiwan in my bones. It is revealed in the form of my face, its ethos runs through my veins, and it echoes through my mind. It's the foundation of my soul. But I could have ignored all this and used something else to orient my co-curricular activities around. But I didn't. I stayed where I was. Perhaps many of us are in the same position. We came to this conference not really knowing why, just because. Because our friends were going, because it was a way to spend a weekend. I think it might have been an overstatement to say that many of us came because we believed strongly in a mission or an ideology or because of programming alone. Yet, so many of us are here regardless of our non-Taiwanese-ness. And let us think critically about why we are here, why we have stayed, and where we shall go. I stayed because of the roots that I found. Roots that I know I always had, but had long neglected. TASA and ITASA spurred me to look into the Taiwan that my grandparents came to as Waisha, and the Taiwan that my parents knew and left, and the Taiwan that exists now. But always in the context of the America that I had known and grown up in. TASA and ITASA helped me reconcile two worlds that I hardly knew were torn apart. And I'd really like to thank everyone in this room and everyone in my past that has helped me meld these two things together and help me take root.